Hi everybody, and welcome to Sammy Scrolls, where I tell you all about some of the best books out there. For this episode, we're looking at Star Wars Dawn of the Jedi Into the Void. The title kind of goes on a bit, but I thought I'd go down a bit of a different path. I'm a bit late to the whole Star Wars thing. I watched the first 6 movies a couple of years ago, and aside from really enjoying R2-D2 and Jar Jar Binks, which I know, blasphemy, but I wasn't really into it. And then The Force Awakens came out and the obsession began. So now I've got Star Wars clothes, I've got Star Wars merchandise, I've got Star Wars books, and once I got into it, I don't really do things by halves. I either don't like whatever it is, or I become obsessed with it. And now I'm obsessed with Star Wars. This book is so good, and unfortunately it's not the very start of the Star Wars world. I think the comics actually start from like day dot. This is many thousands of years since the start, but as it says, like Dawn of the Jedi, it's sort of like Jedi are still finding their feet, and there's a lot of issues surrounding them and stuff, so that's cool to see. Like, because in the movies, from what I saw, the Jedi are very well established. Everyone in the world knows who they are and what they're about, and in this book, the Jedi, they sort of know what they're doing and what they're about, but the other life forms, it's sort of depending what planet you're on and what species you're talking to. It's like love-hate relationship, and it seems to be a lot more hate than there is love. It goes into a war that the Jedi's fought in and have copped a lot of blame over. People are very suspicious of them, which is kind of fascinating. I guess there's touches of that in the movies, but it's been a few years, so I don't really remember. My bad. But yeah, so this book follows. You have to forgive me because being so new to the Star Wars world, I don't know how to pronounce their names or their species very well. I think it's Lanori. I'm not really sure, but it follows her story, and she is very Rey-esque. And she's a strong, powerful, leading female, which is really cool. And yeah, it's not like watered down to make her like girly or anything. She keeps up with all the things the boys do, and I think the Jedi, one of their cool things is they see like boys and girls equally. They're both submitted to the same challenges and tests. They have the same responsibilities and expectations, so it's awesome to see that in the Star Wars world there's none of the equality nonsense that we have. People are people, and that's just how it is. We do deal a lot with the balance in the Force, which was cool. I didn't really have a whole grasp of that concept before reading this, but this one goes into the 2 moons that represent the light side and the dark side, and then because Lanori, she was a Padawan, and now she's going on her journey to become a Jedi Ranger. We hear a lot about her struggling with the balance, and I didn't realise that, well, sort of. I thought, like, I don't know, if you were good, yeah, you had no bad in you, you were just all light, and the dark side was something that you got tainted and went to. But this book actually says that, which is true, we all have light and dark in us, and it's a choice as to which side you go to. So I really liked that, and you see her struggle with, like, sometimes you have to do things that are kind of bad and you don't like, and Lanori faces that as well, and the struggle of the Force inside her and trying to maintain that balance is totally different. I didn't really, like, I saw the progression of Anakin a bit in the movies, but I didn't realise that the reason he went to the dark side was like an unbalance in the Force. I just thought, you know, what happens with his mum, it just mentally flipped a switch and that was that. But it's actually deeper than that. The Force constantly flows through Jedi or people that are like Force sensitive, and they actually can control where it sits and stuff. So it's fascinating. We also come into what can go wrong, and we actually meet someone that doesn't even have the Force in them and doesn't want anything to do with the Force and views it as evil. So it's quite an introduction to the world, and because we are starting out with a Padawan that's growing, it was really helpful for someone that had no idea really about what the Force meant and everything. It helped me understand exactly what's going on, so now when I go and watch the further movies and rewatch the ones that are already out and read through the 400 books approximately that there are, I'll actually have a grasp on what's going on, and there's a gentle introduction to the different species, which is cool. So I met a Twi'lek, which was awesome. I googled Twi'lek. Now I understand why he was picked on and stuff. It's not nice, but I get it. So all that sort of stuff, like, it shows rank, it shows progression, and it shows the effects that the Force has on people. It's not just something that happens. You're not like born light or dark, and dark isn't something that taints you. It's something that's always within you, and you have to fight it back. So yeah, I thought it was really, really cool. I'm looking forward to reading the rest of them. It's obviously going to take a really long time to get through them, but I'm hooked on Star Wars now. What did you guys all think of the latest movie? Like, I'm assuming most people have way more knowledge about Star Wars than I do, so how did you feel about things like the books and the comics no longer being canon? What do you think about the rules of the Force being changed and the history now, some of it being true and some of it not? Have you read the books? Are they worth reading? Did it help give the movies more meaning because you know all of the backstory, even though the people that were making the movies at the time didn't know the backstory? It's weird how Star Wars has come around, but it's really fascinating, so I'm looking forward to reading more and sharing it with you. So let me know your thoughts, and if you were to live in the Star Wars world, what species would you be? Would you want to be a Jedi? If you did, then what colour would your lightsaber be? I so go purple. I would love a purple one. Or if I couldn't make that, probably go blue. But purple's where it's at. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. If you want to come chat, come find me on Facebook. Links in the description below. But yeah, take care until I see you next time. May the Force be with you. Bye.